topic this term is location and transformation. And location is to do with this diagram here that we've already drawn, obviously. And it's called the coordinate plane, but it has other names, the number plane or the Cartesian plane. Okay, and Cartesian comes from the Frenchman called René Descartes. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to tell you about that there's another word that comes from his name, the cart bit, cartography. Does anyone know what cartography means? My son in year 9 is a very keen cartographer, and I'm quite fond of cartography myself, actually.
Taking photos of carts?
No, nothing to do with taking photographs of carts. Cartography. You might do cartography in humanities. Think about what this might help you do.
Is it kind of like a bit similar to mapping?
Brilliant. Mapping, that's right, absolutely. So it's to do with mapping. So if you have got a GPS in your car, or in your phone even, it gives a coordinate, doesn't it? Which is what it would show on here. So when you, who's got an iPhone? Okay, have you got the Find My iPhone thing?
Yeah.
Yes, so what would happen is if you lost your phone, the Find My iPhone would give a coordinate for where your phone is, and that's how you would find it, okay? So, the intersecting lines of the coordinate plane are called axes. The horizontal axis is called X, and the vertical axis is called Y, so we need to label that also, okay? Just one question, why have they got arrows on the end of them? Mackenzie?
Because the numbers keep on going.
They're infinite, well done, that's right. Okay, so points on the plane, you can plot them anywhere. You could have a point here, you could have a point here or here or here, anywhere. They're called coordinates, okay? And the X coordinate always comes before the Y coordinate. And we talked about various ways that you could remember that. And then the coordinate in the centre, so coordinate 0, 0, is called the origin. Now, if, for instance, I was going to plot the coordinate 3, 3, I would go 3 across and 3 up, that's that coordinate there. Then say I wanted to plot the coordinate 4, 1. I wouldn't go 4 across from that and 1 up from that. I'd go back to the origin, which is why it's called the origin, because every coordinate originates from it. Does that make sense? Can you see how the words link? Origin and originates. Okay. So, has everybody managed to write this down? If you haven't, you need to take a photograph of it, please. Or watch the video, pause it, and finish the notes. Everyone done it? Super. Okay, let's get rid of this then. Now, if you look at the coordinate plane, it's divided into 4 areas, isn't it? So it's divided into 4 areas. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does anyone know what those 4 areas are called? So let's write this down then. So the 4 areas on the plane are called, and before Alex says it, the 4 areas on the plane are called first class, business class, economy, before he says it.
Cabin class.
Cabin class, right, okay, so what are they called, do you know?
Is it, would it be, sorry, the one on the top left, would it be, negative XY?
Well, we'll come to that in a minute, I'll come back to you, because, excuse me, you're absolutely right. But what are the areas actually called? Because that's perfect, but that's the next thing we're doing.
Quadrants.
Quadrants, well done. They're called quadrants. Now, where do we know this prefix from? Quad. 4, well done. What word do we know in maths that's got quad in it? When we were doing shapes? Quadrilateral, well done. Any shape with 4 sides. So quadrants, they're called. Okay, now, just as Lachlan said, each quadrant has a different positive or negative. So this quadrant here would be positive X and positive Y. wouldn't it? Because that would be positive and that would be positive. So you'd go across positive and up positive, okay? What about this quadrant here?
Negative x, negative y.
Right, negative x.
No, positive x.
Ah, positive
Negative
x. Positive x, negative y, that's right, because you're still going that way along, which is positive, and then the negative. What about this one?
Negative x, negative y.
Well done, negative x, negative y. And this last one?
No, negative x, positive y.
Negative x, positive y, brilliant, very good. Now, the quadrants all have a number, but it's a little bit counterintuitive the way that they're numbered, because wouldn't you think that they'd be numbered clockwise? You would, but they're not. So this one here is quadrant 1, so I want you to label that. Now where is quadrant 2?
That one there.
Yeah, well done. This one here is quadrant 2, and as you can see I've given them Roman numerals, but you can write the numbers if you want to, but you will often see them in Roman numerals, so I thought I'd show you them. This one here is quadrant 3, and then this one here is quadrant 4. Okay? Now, what about if I plot a point here? That one would be, what would that coordinate be there?
That would be 0. No, that
Can
would
you count how many across it is? It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
That would be 4, 0.
4, 0, that's right. So let's have a look at that one, 4, 0. Now, this point here then, where is it? Where is it?
On the x-axis.
Very good, it's not in a quadrant. So 4, 0 is on the x-axis, and then 0, 4 would be here. Where's that one?
On the y-axis.
On the y-axis, that's right. So our sentence that we need to write is that points on the axes are not in a quadrant. Okay, so it's very important that. So if someone says to you, what quadrant is the point 3, 0? It's not in a quadrant, it's actually on an axis. So if there's a 0 in the coordinate, either the first, the y or the x, it's not in a quadrant.
Wonderful Radio London.